In many of our virtual Loudoun courses, there's often timed assessments that we have in our courses. In the event that we have a student with special needs who needs to have the time doubled, say for example via their IEP or 504 plan, there's a very easy way to go about doing this in the virtual Loudoun course. It's not that difficult at all. You can set it up for groups of users. So if you have a number of students who need this accommodation, you can set up a group and then apply those changes to the individual group. Or you can do what are called user overrides, meaning that this individual user has the extended override time on that particular assessment. The way that we go about doing this is we navigate to a course where we have instructor rights. And I'm going to scroll down here. I'm an instructor in this course. I'm going to scroll down to the assessment, which happens to be the Module 1 quiz at the end of the assessment. And I simply click on that Module 1 quiz, and I'm going to change some of the parameters. You can see right here, it has attempts allowed, 2 for all the students, and it has a time limit of 30 minutes for all the students. In the event that I have a student who's supposed to get unlimited attempts, and let's say, for example, twice the time limit, I can easily do that for that particular student. The way that you go about doing it is very simple, actually. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to the admin block and the settings for that particular assessment. Oftentimes, that's up in the menu block right up here at the top. You can see once I expand that out, underneath the quiz administration block, you'll see edit settings, group overrides, and user overrides. In this particular case, because we're only assigning an override for one particular user, we're going to use user overrides. Simply click on user overrides, and you see you're taking this module 1 quiz, so I'm adding a user override to module 1 quiz. I click on add user override button in the center of the screen, and now it'll list all of my students right here. If I would like to override for a particular student, I can always search if there's a number of students, but in this particular case, I only have one student, so I'm going to apply the override to them. I simply highlight their name, and then I can make the changes as necessary. I can require a password just for them, so if I desire. I can open and close a quiz on certain dates just for them if required. But what I wanted to do was to adjust the time limit and the number of attempts allowed for this particular student and this user only. So what I'm going to do is I wanted to double the time limit for them. So I'm going to change 30 minutes. I can type in 60 minutes, or what I can do is type in 1 and change this drop down here from 1 minute to 1 hour. Make sure that the enable button is clicked, and then the number of attempts allowed. I can click that and make that unlimited, or I can change it to 3, 4, whatever the case may be. All I need to do then is click on save. The page will reload, and it will show you that this particular student has these overrides on this assessment. That's the way that you go about changing the time limits for individual students with specific needs on the assignments. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I'll be happy to answer them the best that I can.